Well, before we conclude with what we call our fiddler sandwich, I just want to say a couple of things. You've been a lovely audience, and I think a pretty well-informed audience, so I'm going to share a couple of insights with you that might be wasted on less intelligent people. First of all, the two settings of the Brecht piece that you heard, I don't know if you recognize the references, but they're distinct. Eisler. What's that? You know? The Merry Widow. Right? Right? And what's the reference in the file? Beethoven Eroica. Yeah. So they had two different references that they snuck in there for those two pieces. And this last piece that Helene just sang, the Chantons en Navire, was a favorite of a very dear friend of ours named Martha Schlama. And you remember her? She was a fantastic singer of Jewish songs and a refugee from Vienna via the Isle of Man. And I got to know her when Hannah was premiered in 1980, and Jewish Currents printed an article about it, and I happened to be home from Europe, and she called up my parents and said, I want to talk to Leonard Lehrman about his opera, Hannah. And we got to know each other, but she never got to see it. You'll get to see it if you come to the performance that the Galit and Helene and 7 other cantors are singing in December, December 9th in Long Island and December 23rd. At Hebrew Union College, so we hope you'll do that. So we're going to conclude with a fiddler sandwich, 3 selections from 2 works that have been called operas, though not by their creators. I had the honor of being the first Jew to conduct Fiddler on the Roof in Berlin, and in a Jewish opera class that I taught at Hebrew Union College this past semester, we had an interesting discussion with the show's lyricist, Sheldon Harnick, who maintained that Fiddler on the Roof, which has been called the Jewish National Opera, is not an opera at all. Also participating in the discussion was Joel Mandelbaum, some of whose opera you heard earlier in the program. And Joel argued that a work which attains the level of artistry and deep meaning that Fiddler does has every right to be called an opera. Sheldon Harnick had to concede that was a rather different way of defining the term opera than he was used to. So, the second work in this sandwich is my E.G., a musical portrait of Emma Goldman. Now, I also did not consider this an opera, but the National Opera Association produced it at their 1990 Chicago convention, so who am I to argue, right? And like the Bar Kochba number, which opened our concert, it too is a joyous call for revolution on the part of a group of Russian, Jewish, American immigrants. The characters are Emma Goldman, her lover, Sasha Berkman, his cousin, the artist known as Fedya, which I also get to play, and the 4th member of this Worcester Mass 1890 commune, Helen Minkin. And then we will conclude with another selection from Fiddler on the Roof, Sabbath Prayer, that Kali